Hey you, before the video starts, consider dropping a like, a comment, and maybe consider subscribing. This really does help the channel grow. On to the video. Hey there guys, it's Maine here, backing up with another account review. Today we are looking at VeryJuice's account, which, funnily enough, won an account review back in, I think, January it was. But that was back when I was taking Idleon efficiency links. And then I stopped taking them and I started making videos telling everyone to give me their Toolbox links, and he finally gave me his Toolbox links. So we're doing his account today. We're looking at it based off what I'm seeing here, not very deep into the end game. Obviously based off the fact the Onyx statues aren't really onyxing, they're not really juicing like they are normally you'd see. Count level's not even 5,000, so gives me some indication that this is a somewhat earlier game account than we're used to, and I'm really excited about that because there's a lot to talk about for early game players now, how to gear their attention, how to focus on it, and especially after my run in the free-to-play account, I have, I think, somewhat of a better idea of the earlier game mechanics of how it helps your account in, you know, pushing progression, especially I mean, by the time this video comes out, I've already done the speedrun and such, and I have an idea of how getting into some of the later game mechanics really helps scale your damage, your skill efficiency, juices your prints, how the whole really impacts the game now, because it helps kind of softly replace Doot, which is, you know, that was a big pain point for a lot of people back in 2023. So, you know, there's a lot to learn, and I think I've done as much learning as I can in a completely free-to-play account where I can help people like VeryJuice today. So let's go jump into his account, see immediately what to do. I think, you know, off the top of my head, the first thing I want to see done is trying to push to 5,000 account level. So that means at a bare minimum, trying to get your characters to 500 on the other skills, on their other character levels. So, you know, what I'm seeing here, you have a V-Man at 259. V-Man is always going to be one of the harder classes to do, just based off of the fact that, you know, V-Man doesn't really have a respawn mechanic. It doesn't have an EXP scaler, nothing like that. The damage is pretty low, so it's not like you can reliably kill the highest tier mobs depending on what stage of the game you're in. And, you know, if I were to guess, I don't believe you're probably at the end of World 6. You're stuck at Leek Spirits, the same as the last review we did. So there's a lot that needs to be done here, and I think immediately off the top of my head, going back to the previous video, we talked a lot about Onyx statues, and I think that's probably your next big goal, is trying to do Onyx statues. So I hope you have Choco Chip. You do on your Slab character. So let's take a look at that. Drop rate at 12.67, which is, you know, completely reasonable for a free-to-play character, but you, you have the Cobalt robes. That's pretty good drop rate. You don't have the cape from the new stuff, so you're missing that as a drop rate multi. You're missing the name tag for the drop rate multi. So how do you scale the drop rate at this stage of the game? Well, all of these things here scale drop rate. So my mind's kind of going towards obols maybe as a first thing. So you haven't fully maxed out your obol page. You have bronze pop obols here. You want to upgrade these to silver. The way you've done these is perfectly fine. Everything else seems to be maxed out. You have a full drop rate obol set here, so this is pretty good. Your clover shrine's only level 14. As you progress, and, you know, I guess this is probably something I need to mention, which isn't necessarily brought up a lot, but do keep in mind that since you're in World 6, you likely have all of the various shrine bonuses that come from Lab, that come from artifacts, and stuff like that. Basically, the way you level up shrines is you need to be in the world, and like your characters need to be in the world the shrine is placed to gain the EXP. So say, for example, you place the shrine in World 1 town, and by the way, place it in the towns so it counts for the entire world. So if you have in World 1 town and your character is in World 2 killing sandy pots, it will not gain EXP for shrines. You physically, sorry, I just remembered something. Some of the comments in the previous video mentioned I should zoom in, so I'm doing that here. Hopefully you see that and you appreciate that. Anyways, but basically what you want to do with shrines is you want to go to, you want to put them in the world where most of your characters are. I understand when you're early game, you have a lot of split priorities and your characters are not all going to be based into the same world. Some characters might be in the hole pushing bravery or justice, or if you're that late, the wisdom monument, which I don't suspect you're that late. Or, you know, some of your characters might be farming green mush for money percent, or they might be farming death note kills or something. There's a bunch of split priorities when it comes to early game, so it's not you can't exactly get all 10 characters. Hell, I don't even get all 10 characters at this stage of the end game because of my split priorities, like my Windwalkers in World 6, but my other characters are doing bravery, and then I have some characters in cooking or whatever. So there's a lot of split priorities. Just put these shrines in whatever world is where most of your characters are. So if most of your characters are in World 5, put it into the World 5 town. If they're mostly in World 6 trying to push Leek spirits, put it into World 6. That way when you claim the AFK gains, it'll count that progress towards shrines as well. Also, to help you progress shrines, because shrines are a big part of the end game for really fleshing out your account. They're by no means the biggest account bonus out there, but they are incremental enough to where you want to worry about it at all times and try to optimize it as much as you can to level it up, because this is 59.4% drop rate now. But if you get to anywhere near the end game that I'm at, this is 128.7. So this is more than double the drop rate for double the levels, which kind of makes sense. The giant and crystal spawn chance are at 338 compared to your 162. It's just, Idleon is all about stacking incremental small bonuses, and shrines are exactly that. They are incremental, they are small, but they are meaningful, especially for endgame. So remember, just put your character, put the shrines in the town where most of your characters are, and additionally, if you have gold food, make sure to equip gold cheese on your characters and split that amongst them, at least in the characters that are progressing the shrine. So if they're in World 4 and the shrines are in World 4, give them the gold cheese, they start spreading that. And it'll help kind of scale the EXP bonus. Like this character has 66 gold cheese. You're not getting that much bonus because you don't have a lot of gold food effect just yet. But the same logic to golden hamster gummies, you want to split this across your character so its effectiveness is pretty much equal. And this 855, you want to split across the other characters. The only caveat here is, I think, is caveat the word I've been saying a lot? I think it is. Anyways, tangent aside, I think the only thing you want to be mindful of is the only character that you wouldn't really need gold cheese on is the character you are active on most of the time. So if your game is running and you're playing a character, obviously they're not going to get AFK time. So you're not going to be able to progress shrines on that character. So you don't need to put gold cheese on that character. So if you're playing DK active and your game is open all the time, you can flex those slots for food or EXP or the gold food that you have here, and this is completely fine. Also, to that effect, if you're not claiming any AFK time on the character, then swapping off golden hamster gummies is something you may want to do. Just in the back of your mind, something to consider is doing exactly that. Just optimizing the gold cheese, splitting it across your characters. Remember that gold food generally, no matter what it is, stacks diminishingly. So again, what that means is for every new stack of that gold food, for example, cheese, you put on your character, the next gold food you put on is going to have less of an effect. So if I have 10 gold cheese, and I give my character 1 gold cheese, it's going to give me less % shrine gain than if I just had 1 gold cheese, if that kind of makes sense. The large scaling effect of that gold cheese is just less, depending how many of that I have. So if I had 1,000,000 gold cheese and I give him 1, it's not going to scale the same way as that first gold cheese. So keep that in the back of your mind. That's why I recommend splitting things like golden hamster gummies and cheese across all of your characters, is because you have an 8.3% here, but this character has 14.9. So by more than 10xing the stack, you're not 10xing the value of the gold food. So make sure to split it across your characters and make sure you try to consolidate your characters in some of the worlds so you can start leveling up the shrines. And do keep in mind, in World 6, one of the Jade Emporium upgrades lets you move around the shrines without losing the EXP. And it's relatively early on. It is Shrine and Collective Bargain Agreement, which you have gotten here. Shrines no longer lose EXP when moved around, so you can finally bring those baddies out of retirement. So you can move them around without losing EXP, which is a huge boon to leveling shrines now. So you need that. If you're kind of really early game, you don't have that yet, before you move your shrines or consider moving them if they're relatively high level or if they're about to level, try to get that Jade Emporium upgrade as soon as possible so you can start having more flexibility in your shrines to be able to move them. Okay, let's move away from shrines. Let's go back to talking about drop rate, because we haven't delved into that much. I think when it comes to mid, I consider people who are at Leek Spirits kind of entering like the mid game stage. It's a good soft lock for people. Again, there's that word lock, kind of soft progression spot for people to stop and reevaluate their account and focus on their basis, so to speak. So they can start scaling the earlier mechanics they may have missed out on to start, progressing their account in a meaningful way to push past that Leek Spirit lock. So it's going to come in the form of skill efficiency, as we tackled in the previous video. It's going to come in the form of Onyx statues. So make sure you get on that Onyx statue grind because you obviously don't have a lot of Onyx statues. I think Kathar did reach out to me and he did share his rates on Ocean Man. They were pretty bad. So I wouldn't recommend sticking on Ocean Man, even with the high drop rate that he had. So, come back to this when you get more drop rate from the Hole or from Owl to be able to more reliably do this. And you can stick a bunch of characters here as well. So, the easier statues to worry about, the World 2 statues specifically, trying to get those Onyx. The Bullseye statue, I think doing this on ES is better for sticks or wood mushrooms. I can't remember. Use the wiki to figure out where the the highest drop rate is for that specific item. The World 4 gold food as well. It's not that impactful, but the coin percent, the cooking EXP, and the breeding EXP are all pretty nice. And the fact of the matter is, every single statue you get at Onyx just makes the next statue like better. So because it increases the deposit multiplier, so you're able to get more value out of your statues when you deposit them. So make sure to try and get as many of these statues Onyx as possible. And then I saw you doing gold food farming for World 5 because you had a decent stack of golden grilled cheese non-witches and a decent stack of golden hamster gummies. So I would still consider trying to do World 5 once you flesh out your drop rate just a little bit more. So let's go back to it. Let's talk about the Hole. I saw you were at Cavern 9 at the very least. You're at 11, actually. So you're at the Jars, which is pretty good. The Jars is it's kind of a slowdown when it comes to Hole progression because now you kind of need to try your luck at getting some collectibles early on. I think it's if you get them, because there's no way to force any collectibles or anything. If you get some of them that give you more rupee value, obviously it'll help you collect more rupees and be able to get that stuff. Just remember to collect whatever jar you have. The engineer schematics are going to help you with the jar mechanics, so make sure to get the schematics as you get them to start leveling that up. Make sure to definitely focus on engineer. I see you have a lot of these that you haven't gotten yet, and similar to Kathar, you haven't gotten some of the gloomy cavern stuff. So you're missing the free drop rate here, and this is really going to help your drop rate. And you should go back to cavern 9. It is to try and push more layers of the monarch because the more monarch kills you get, the more drop rate you get. Right now, you're going to be able to get 15% drop rate, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it'll add up. Remember that the game is all about stacking small incremental bonuses till it scales out of proportion. You get a lot of drop rate out of it. So kill as many monarchs as you can. It's 5.6 trillion HP. It's quite daunting for someone that's early game, but it's not completely undoable. If anything, you can just sit there and try to kill it over a long period of time. The one thing I do want to say about the gloomy cavern that I see people get confused on a lot is pushing the layers doesn't make the mobs harder to kill. All it does is it makes the big mob that spawns when you challenge the monarch, it just makes that mob harder to kill. It doesn't scale the damage or anything, it just scales the HP. So you want to push as many layers as you can. If you could get to a layer of 10 million, you would want to do it because the gloomy mushrooms do not scale in HP. It is only the monarch that scales in HP. So there is no reason to not push layers. So make sure to push layers on this character. And the best way to do that is on Siegebreaker. Being active on Siegebreaker is the best way to do it because it is the only respawn mechanic that actually works. And additionally, the Plunderous mob is fantastic because it'll give you more drop rates. So you can eventually get a little bit of statues. That's not the whole reason you do it, but it's the fastest. It's the only mob respawn mechanic that actually works in the Gloomy Cavern. So make sure to do it on Siegebreaker just because it has the only respawn mechanic that actually works for it. So either one of these Siegebreakers will be completely fine. Just remember to get as much damage on these characters as possible so you can actually challenge the Monarch and kill it in a reasonable amount of time. And then obviously killing the Monarch will give you an opal, which you can distribute to your characters to get more EXP. Okay, so that schematic is good. It'll help you with more drop rate. Additionally, it'll help you with class EXP. It'll help you with villager EXP to help you push even further into the hole. So make sure to do that. And then when you unlock the engineer schematic 16, getting gloomy mulch, this will help you, just a little bit of mob respawn. So the rest of the worlds are, a little bit easier to push more AFK because mob respawn is a hard stat to come by, and it's a really good scaler for AFK kills. So pushing portals and stuff like that. So this will help you in the grind in World 6, pushing past Leek spirits because it'll add to your kill counter. Take a pause to drink some water real quick. Okay, big thing I want to talk about is obviously just doing your schematics is going to help you like a lot in the long run. So I think the biggest thing for you to focus on, and on my free-to-play account, this is what I'm doing to help progress the hole a little bit faster, is I wouldn't worry about mining efficiency too much early on. Yes, it's good. Obviously, you eventually want to get to a point where all you're doing is mining efficiency, but if you're starting to push out the hole and you're hitting like these large stopping points like a Cavern 11, for example, and you're only getting 198,000 EXP, your biggest thing is not necessarily going to be pushing EXP for villagers, but focusing on like the hole specific stuff. So focusing on bucket fill rate, and eventually when you get there, bell, ring, and ping rate, because these help scale the various hole mechanics. Early on in the hole, I gave advice, and it's still advice I would recommend today, is trying to push the hole first is something you want to focus on. So if there's any bonus that provides you a multiplier to some hole mechanic, you should 100% take it because it'll help you scale and push the hole faster. So in this case, from the bravery monument, bucket fill rate is that multiplier. This is going to help you collect more of these resources, which you are hard locked on, and frankly you need a lot of. For the measurer, for example, you need, I think this is Brunite. You need this because it'll contribute to more bucket fill rate, which will allow you to upgrade things like more villager EXP, or here, more villager EXP, or later on, more multi-kill per tier. Like this is a fantastic one when you eventually get here at measure 11. And even then, the schematics as well are really important for you to push. So getting another amplifier for the dog den to be able to push more dog den layers, being able to upgrade this, the triple tap tinkle, this is a fantastic upgrade because it'll allow you to get more levels of the bell. And the bell itself, again, will help you get more bucket fill rate, more villager EXP. The villager EXP kind of sucks. The big thing here probably early on for you is the harp note gain, to be completely honest, because this will help you scale the notes, which you need for, the notes. So you can push more schematics, which again, the schematics also give you EXP. So pushing schematics is pretty important. Also, first try, I swear, this is mandatory, like mandatory if you're trying to push bravery. This is undoubtedly one of, this is the strongest bravery damage sword damage multiplier you will ever find, outside of obviously pushing hours. But this really helps contribute to your damage in the late game and pushing bravery waves. It's just a pain to manage early on because it's just gambling essentially. So you need to just unlock this, and for the first few waves, just throw the last sword. Honestly, if early on, what I'd recommend is if your minimum damage is higher than the HP of the mob, throw the last sword. Similar to how the studier works eventually when you unlock it, unlocking this at one level is very important. So when you get Belaya, was it Cavern 12 or 13? I can't remember. Getting this unlocked for bravery is such a huge quality of life, but only that will help you push so many more bravery rounds, and it'll help you scale the bucket fill rate to upgrade more schematics and upgrade more harp stuff, because it'll help you progress bell faster and stuff like that. So just make sure if you see a bonus in the hole that'll help you scale the hole even further, you want to prioritize that first, because right now your big thing is you can't do the hole because you don't have hole bonuses. I'm gonna stop talking about your hole because it's getting a little bit obsessive and I don't like that. So I'll move on. Just know, push as much as you can. Try to get bucket fill rate, try to get harp note gain, try to get the gloomy looty, all these talents right here to scale your drop rate, your class EXP, your villager EXP, stealth bonus. All this stuff is going to help you even later on to the game. The hole is so incredibly powerful. Do not neglect it, and try to push these bonuses first to progress the hole faster so you can start getting those account bonuses that you see those end gamers going after. It's all about building that foundation so things get easier for you in the future. So work on that. the hole will come a little bit easier, and eventually it'll start scaling and hyper scaling, and it'll really become a foundation for your account. Let's move away from the hole. Let's talk about the owl, because it is also something I see early game players kind of fret on. They don't push that much, but in your case, I see this as relatively decently pushed. Level 13 Mega Feather pre Gambit Cavern is actually pretty good, I would say. I think you've taken advantage of the vaults and the amount of bonuses you can get. Obviously, don't stop pushing Orion. You want to keep pushing it and keep doing these resets and trying to get more bonuses of Orion and more Mega Feathers to help scale the drop rate here, the damage, the total damage, the class EXP, the skill EXP. All this stuff is really good. And remember, as I mentioned before, as the common theme of this video is every single small bonus you get will help scale your account to be bigger and bigger. So make sure to take advantage of the time that you're taking right now and that you have right now available to you, and start pushing these bonuses, these small bonuses, to make it better. Okay, stamps. So you're missing the Celestigene quest line. Celestigene. I think one of these is World 6 drop. Arcade stuff. You have Crystalline doubled. Perfect. All right. All in all, not bad. Apologies. I do agree with the 2 that you have doubled here. I'm trying to think about how you want to prioritize stamps right now. So big thing, early game, is trying to push towards that 10k stamp level. The faster you can push that 10k stamp level, the better, because it'll guarantee you a chance at a gilded stamp, which I hope you've unlocked in the Rift by now. You're at 21, so you don't have Stamp Master yet, so you don't even know what a gilded stamp is yet. So definitely push this. Oh yeah, 100% push Rift. I suspect you should have enough damage based on the fact that you're in Leek Spirits. You should be able to push here. So stats, let's take a look. So damage 52 mil. This feels okay. That makes sense. Some of these are probably on skilling presets. This kind of makes sense. 606 mil here. Are you in Windwalker form here? Do you have more damage on Windwalker form now than you do the base game? I suspect that might be the case, but I don't know. So yeah, you're at 1.1 billion here on your DK. So I suspect pushing Rift, if you optimize for damage, isn't going to be that bad. Let's see. Idleon, Wiki, Rift. Let's see the HP at 21. 21 is 115 mil. Considering how you have this at Onyx, I think your crit chance is actually pretty high. So you have a high chance at critting. So killing mobs in the Rift should not be that hard for you. So I think at least pushing 21 Rift, 22 Rift should be really easy for you. Getting to 26, I don't think is going to be a daunting task either. So make sure you get here, because as you get gilded stamps, it'll help you push higher levels of these stamps. So you'll be able to get higher levels of things like Drippy Drop, higher levels of the Crystalline stamp, higher levels of Mason Jar. Starting, if you need a little bit more base multi-kill, because I know that's kind of a struggle early game trying to get more of this. If you're running into issues on Spore Cap generation, you could try to upgrade that, get more carry capacity, since you have stamp exception, I believe, from the Jade Emporium upgrades. Starting to upgrade things that are more resource intensive for you, since you don't have a lot of skilling efficiency, but upgrading agility, for example, get you more damage on your archer characters, or getting you more kill per kill so you can unlock more portal kills. Trying to upgrade this, for example. I mean, you have 472,000 in your inventory. Even with a 0% cost reduction, it's taking less than 100k. If you take this off, go to 0%, you have the resources for a lot of these stamps. Everything that's blue here, you have the ability to upgrade with resources. So make sure you actually upgrade these. It is really important to just upgrade stamps right now, because as you get gilded stamps, every 100 stamp levels contributes to a 1% chance the next day you get a gilded stamp. So you want to start scaling your stamp levels so you can get higher chances of gilded stamps to unlock and level up your stamps more often. And best stamps to focus on, obviously, multi-tool, ladle stamp, the carry capacity, as we mentioned, all that stuff, really, really important. So once you get those gilded stamps, those are the hard ones, really important ones to hard focus, that is. Okay, so you don't have the Trash Island bribe yet. Jade Emporium stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean, all these bribes are good. So when you are able to unlock this in the island, it'll help you get this stuff right here. And eventually when you unlock the next bribe set in the Jade Emporium, which honestly, do you even have? Bribe? Where is it? Is it further down? Oh yeah, it's way down there. Never mind. Forget about that. Cool. Let's move on talking about bubbles. Bubbles is a big thing. I suspect you have 200 tentacle. Just based off the fact you push all the World 6 bubbles on orange cauldron, your next big thing is trying to just unlock the bubbles from green, from purple, and from yellow. Just unlocking them is going to be nice because all these are, most of these are small bubbles that you have remaining, especially unlocking low cost Mo Jade. Even at level 1, because you can't level this up yet, it's going to help you with sneaking because it'll reduce the cost of everything. So it costs a little bit less Jade coin, which isn't that significant early game, but it'll help in long run. So, unlock this and, you take advantage of it and unlocking your, upgrading your sneaking bonuses and such. In terms of what bubbles to focus and what bubbles to push, the multiplier bubbles are always a good one to fall back on and start upgrading. So Mage is Best, Archer Bust, Warrior's Rule. Those ones, if you get Prisma bubbles, putting it on Larry, or actually, since you're this early game, Diamond Chef is honestly what I recommend first, because you can take advantage of cooking. Again, I think I talked about this last time, but I made a video on my free-to-play account because the first bubble I prismed was Diamond Chef, and I can assuredly tell you it was probably the best decision in account progress to date. In fact, I think my DK was almost equivalent in damage to some of your characters, just off of the bonuses from cooking. So hear me out when I say Diamond Chef is a fantastic meal to do. The biggest issue that I'm running into with Diamond Chef is I don't have the spices and breeding to actually unlock the rest of my meals. I've actually gotten most of my meals to level 30 already, just off of getting this to 30. Like this is, Prisma, because this is such a powerful bubble early game. You have no idea. So if you get any Prisma bubbles, Diamond Chef is a great one to do, first off, if you're this early game. Other than that, Larry's a great one. Starchu is a fantastic one as well. And then from there, start focusing on the multiplier bubbles. So Warrior's Rule, and then go to Molt Orange, and then I would do Mage's Best. Or alternatively, since you're this early game, once you do these 3 bubbles here in the yellow cauldron, do Warrior's Rule and then do Mage's Best. But still, generally, I wouldn't really advise doing the green cauldron. I find, I mean, through my rough analysis, I really don't see a point in scaling the green cauldron all that much right now. I mean, it'll help you with your fly prints and such, but even you specifically have 2 siege breakers. So even if you're not hitting the 1 billion storage cap, you're completely fine on fly prints. Don't worry about it. Just worry about Warrior's Rule or Mage's Best. You don't even use fly prints for atom generation, to be completely honest with you. You just do it for maintenance on refinery, or just fleshing out your stacks in your storage, and that's pretty much it. But when it comes to the warrior bubbles and the mage bubbles, those ones you want to use for atoms, because that'll help you. The resource intensiveness, the skill efficiency needed to get high atom generation on any of the ores or the logs is extremely low. And so it's really easy to get atoms on those skills respectively compared to flies. Flies have a ton of catching efficiency needed, and fish even more. You really don't want to try to use fish for atoms because you can get to a trillion ore way quicker than you could ever for a trillion flies. Or honestly, I think roughly where I'm at, I think I'm in the trillions of ore, but I'm barely hitting the billions, hundreds of billions of flies. Just to give you perspective, it is terrible. You don't want to use flies for atom generation, so that's why I recommend trying to do the orange and purple cauldrons first over the green cauldrons in terms of the multiplier bubbles, just because there's not a lot of reason for you to scale the bubbles from the green cauldron. I mean, what are you going to scale here? Right? mastery. Who cares about mastery? Mastery is like the most useless stat in the game. I don't think I have ever heard someone at any point in my entire time playing Idleon where they said you should upgrade mastery because it's going to help you. It literally does nothing. It does something, but there is... What a terrible bubble. Anvilnomics. Do I need to tell you how bad this bubble is? Quick Slap is the biggest base damage scaler in the game, so I'll give it credit to that. This is okay. Again, catching nets, who cares? Skill efficiency from this, you're not going to get high prints. Trapping, you can cap out on trapping efficiency. Who cares? Doesn't do anything. You can't prism bubble that. It's not affected by the multipliers anyways. Accuracy, if you're playing on mobile, you actually... you overflow in accuracy. This would be a detriment to you by multiplying this, and accuracy is pretty easy to cap out, and you're already at 12.9 million bloaches for this anyways. You're probably nearing accuracy cap for a lot of the mobs anyways, so who cares? In fact, let me go to your characters and find out. So your DK accuracy 4.2 mil. It's 3.75 mil, and I have balance of pain on. Like, well, actually, it doesn't do anything for the card, but your accuracy capped for the entire game. Just by having no bubble left behind, eventually hit accuracy, you'll probably be fine for ancient golems. But you're so far away from ancient golems, it's not going to matter. But this is the only mob you aren't able to hit. You're completely fine for the rest of World 6, so accuracy is like out of the question, and that's probably the same case for your siege breakers, anyways. So who cares? Cheap shot, just level up the crit chance statue. It's better. The damage here, this is so minor, and this is like the easiest bubble to level and get more bonus out of anyways. It's just not worth considering for an eligibility for archer bus scaling. Shiny critters have a cap that you can claim every single day, so this is terrible. Talent points, this is actually a pretty easy bubble to level naturally over time, so who cares about this? Cost reduction, again, who cares about this? Dollar of agility, the other bubbles here are better at scaling because you naturally want to farm money on your bubo or eventually late game on your DK, so you don't really want to do this for the money percent. Premagreen, again, all these bubbles were terrible for scaling. This bubble's terrible for scaling. Kill per kill, who cares about this? We get enough multi-kill per tier from the measurer bonus as it is. AFK, EXP. I've actually Prisma bubbled this for the memes. This actually doesn't do anything. This is a terrible bubble as it is. Who cares about this? Move on. Wand power. I mean, you already have quick slap. I mean, what do you need? And you already have onyx statues for move speed and such. Catching and trapping power, it's terrible for the same reason that, the Sanic Tools is. Sailor Heart doesn't get affected. Base agility and luck. This is good for, I guess, your V-Man, maybe? I don't know. Power of Try To, you already have enough damage on your siege breakers anyways for move speed scaling, so who cares? This is a free bubble to level up anyways. Green Essence Boost is actually pretty okay. Again, who cares about catching and trapping efficiency? The agility is nice, but again, who cares about that? And stealth percent, this is a actually good bubble, but you need tome scaling, and when you're this early game and you don't even have it unlocked, your tome scaling is garbage, so it doesn't do anything. So all that said, green bubble, any of the multipliers just aren't that worth it compared to the orange or purple cauldron. So keep that in mind when it comes to Prismo bubbling. And in fact, when you're this early game, I'll just reiterate, best things for you to focus on, probably Diamond Chef immediately, then Larry to help you in the long run with your alchemy, and then Starchy EXP when you get on the Onyx statue grind. It'll make them leveling up a lot faster. Talking about vials, definitely do some mob grinding and try to get these vials to 13. So getting mushroom soup up to 13, a near full up to 13, ramification, getting that to 13, the weapon power here to 13, just getting a print for goldfish and trying to get this higher, so when you're active on a character you have a higher chance of pushing portal count. So if you're under DK, pushing past Leek spirits is going to be faster if you're active on them. Same with Bubo, same with ES. All that stuff is going to make the portal count just really easy to push past. Same with flies, just it takes time. I mean, the base accuracy, again, accuracy is not that big for you, but getting the vial to 13 eventually is, so just eventually want to do that. Skinny zero cal, obviously Obviously, this is a fantastic one, especially if you're on the Onyx statue grind. Getting this immediately to 13 is a fantastic one to do. The Souls Vials, especially nowadays, the Souls Vials are incredibly easy to get to 13. You just need Soulable Gum on your characters. You need to grind out a little bit more Onyx statues and start grinding out Feasty statues specifically, and start scaling statue effect through your V-Man talents, and make sure to get a book on this as soon as possible if you haven't already. And you do, just make sure to level it up. And obviously trying to push higher levels of these talents is going to be pretty important for getting you more multiplicative meal cooking speed, more critters and souls, more statue bonuses. All this is just really, really, really important for you. Yeah, I'll move on from vials. Please don't touch sigils. When you unlock all your bubbles and start getting your cauldrons rate and cap up to 100, 150, then you can move on to sigils and start worrying about it, because it'll give you enough time to really flesh out your cauldrons and try to get higher levels of your cap and rate so you get more liquid per day. But not only that, it'll allow you time to eventually get to Turtle Vial, hopefully. And if you're not there yet, I still wouldn't do sigils, and I would just, I guess, still level up your cauldrons. You really want to try to get Turtle Vial as soon as possible. There, you know, before you start sigils at the very least, because it is a multiplier to sigil speed. And this is the reason we're able to finish sigils at this point in the game. It's solely because of this vial right here. Like, this is such a huge vial. This is the best vial in the game, solely because it is a multiplicative bonus to 3 different things, all of which are pretty useful. 4 different things, all of which are pretty useful. So keep that in your mind, back of your mind. Don't do sigils now, because it is a complete waste of time putting your characters on there, when instead you could put your characters on liquid cauldrons, or trying to upgrade and unlock the world 6 bubbles here to through these cauldrons, or, you know, whatever. Moving on. Kangaroo, I think I have a higher mega fish than you on my free-to-play account. Actually, no, we're pretty similar, actually, you know, who knows. I was about to show it, but I realized that would spoil the account, so I don't want to tell you, but I like the general progress where I'm at. But my mega fish, or my bonuses, are higher than you on my free-to-play. Yeah, so start focusing on megafish, especially with this event giving you those time skips. It should be pretty easy, just naturally, especially since it's like the lowest tier. You get like 4 2-hour skips every single time. You only get the 4, so just do kangaroo and just remember it exists, and you should be able to start scaling things like the AFK gains, which, to, you know, the point earlier in the video, is this is something you want to help you scale your skill efficiency, and you want to help you know, push past the World 6 portals and such. Yeah, Toolbox is broken right now when it comes to these 3 pages, so I'm not able to look at your printer, your refiner, your atom collider, but most of the other things in World 3 I can, so we'll skip those, unfortunately, just because I cannot look at them. I did report this in the, or at least I added to a thread in the Toolbox Discord. This right here, this is the error I was getting. A lot of people are getting an error like this apparently, so just no, it's broken. I can't see it anyways. Yeah, I mean, you don't have construction mastery, so I'm not going to harp on you for like building levels or anything. Just always be leveling something. And honestly, at this point, I think shrines are a good thing for you to try to level and try to, you know, get higher levels into, because the faster you level up your shrines, as I mentioned, the better your account's going to be in the long run. Death Note. All this is pretty good. I mean, not much to really talk about here, to be completely honest with you. I think a lot of this is going to come natural over time as you do more Onyx statue farming under DK, because, I mean, as you can see, some of these mobs are pretty high in the kill count. I mean, see sandcastles here, sandy pots, poured beans, for example. Like, those skulls are naturally higher, I suspect, because you're Onyx statue farming on them. So, you know, it'll just come naturally in the early game. I wouldn't hard focus on the multi-kill bonus from these right now. But as you progress the hole and start killing gloomies more and trying to get more of those villager statues, maybe consider getting higher skulls on the World 5 mobs, so you get higher kill rate on them. And remember, the multi-kill does affect the statue drops for villager statues, and later in Cavern 15, the Dragon Warrior statue. So you do want to scale multi-kill. It is really important for those statues in particular, but also for completing those vials that you saw here. Really, really, really important for helping you in progressing these vials to 13, the mob resource vials. Yeah, islands is something I want to do. So you have 59 trash. I think right now what you want to do is try to get that next bribe set, and I think you're nearing in on it. Getting this bribe set is just gonna, again, very small bonuses, but it'll help you in the long run. So make sure to do that. When it comes to Shimmer Island, all you want to do is just focus on skill efficiency as you're doing here. This is fantastic. Again, don't worry about total damage. Just do skill efficiency. That's the best thing here. There's better scalers and better things to use your time and effort, your limited resources on than total damage here. Just do skill efficiency. It is a great way to scale your accounts, prints and such. We're talking about kangaroo prayers. Just make sure to max out your prayers. If you want more prints and higher prints, make sure to max out skill dimwit. Just don't worry about it. Just max it out. Make sure you're at the 90% print sample rate. So if you aren't, you can eke out a few more levels of Royal Sampler. On your characters, do not equip Fibers of Absence. Do not equip it. It's terrible. Try to push your tower defenses if you can. Zerg Russian is a fantastic way to scale your prints early game. So if you can get to level 121 in Goblin Gorefest eventually, this is a fantastic one to do. Midas Mind is a great one to help scale your drop rate as well, for helping get your DK more drop rate. This is a great one to equip on them and try to max out as well. Yeah. Salt Lick, just remember this exists. You can actually max the Salt Lick here for the print samples. It's just nice to max this out just to make sure that you are hitting the 90% print sample rate. Make sure to max out your max level books here from the Salt Lick. People often forget about this, but just remember it exists as well. The points earned during tower defense will help you push higher waves of tower defense because you'll get more points. The multi-kill rate for all worlds, this is base multi-kill. It's not that good, but it'll help you. So up to you if you want to do that. You can level up the liquid rate here, since it's something you're going to want to do eventually, is upgrading those liquid rate and cap in your cauldrons. So, using your mousies and trying to upgrade this is going to help you in the long run as well. Opal storage is just nice quality of life, and plus you can max it out. You have 884,000 frogs and you only need 15k here. You don't need all of your characters on the board. Frankly, you only want 2 DKs on the board for the max effect, because they have talents specific to construction and they will generally outscale anyone on the board anyways. So you don't need everyone on the board. You can stick some characters on cogs and they will level up construction just fine. Okay. Make sure to start doing some set grinding. So make sure to get Amarok set and get that diabolical set. Will help with monster respawn, which will help you push the worlds faster. If you're able to get the troll set and magma set for the, specifically for the tome bonuses higher, for the skill efficiency, the damage, the drop rate is going to be very important for you. The lab and divinity exp, I don't think this needs saying, but the lab and divinity XP is incredibly powerful, for helping you push those skills respectively. So make sure to grab yourself a set of that and try to push it. Obviously, you're going to be kind of locked in the salt regime, which I can't help you on because, again, I can't look at it. But the best way, I can give you some general advice on refinery. The best way to do it is, I assume you don't have Dude. So getting your pocket divinity linked to Omnifal to make sure that your characters are all able to proc refinery when they claim AFK time. So if your refinery is taking it has 3 hours remaining for the next hour and you have 3 hours of AFK on a character, this is a 15% chance or whatever that you can go on that character and it'll proc refinery, which means you can instantly level it up now. Whereas if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be able to do that. So make sure one of your pocket divinity links is to Omnifal. That way your character is able to claim refinery. Okay, pretty good. You bought all the sprout spots that you can. Now gets at 13k. I think Equinox is probably locking you on that right now, maybe. But I mean, this is pretty good. Super bits getting there. Yeah. Mutations. Oh, got Chem. That's really good. Chem is like a really big kind of pushing power plant that you want to get, that you have, which is great. Slab. Okay, remember that Slab does give you a lot. Gives you sailing speed. It'll give you divinity points to help you push the gods. It'll give you more jade coin to help you push staking. It'll give you more essence generation for summoning, more bit gain to help you in gaming, more damage to help your characters push faster. So if you have the ability to craft some of this stuff, like for example, the rough rockers, it may be easier to craft than say like the diabolical conduit or something like that. So if you see something here that you are able to craft that's like less resource intensive, I would absolutely do it. That being said, is there anything in particular I see here that's easy for you to get? Like, give me a second while I blow my nose and look at Slab for a second. Okay, I see some stuff. Okay, so biggest thing I see here are material pouches. There's some of the earlier material pouches that you're missing off of Slab. So small material pouch, I think this is a quest item that you are able to reclaim. If I remember correctly, it's from Scripticus. Idleon wiki small material bag. Again, the wiki is a fantastic resource. Small material bag, it's from Scripticus. So you can go back to the quest line you got from Scripticus and reclaim it. If you are unfamiliar with how to reclaim a quest, go over here to your quest log, go to quest completed, and I go down to back to the world 1 quest, or the color coded. So if you're colorblind, tough luck, pal. Here we go. Small material pouch, reclaim item. It'll drop at my feet, and there you go. And that's it. And there you go. It's slabbed now. So easy. It should be like probably the easiest one for you to do. And then there's obviously like the sizable food pouch, sizable material pouch. These are free, easy slab things you can do. Outside of that, obviously doing Deathbringer, picking up the femurs, picking up the rib cages, the craniums, the bovenes eventually. These add to slab. You're missing some of the treasure hunt quest items, like the mayonnaise bottle, broken weapon, dried paint blob, and gray bullet. Those are from the Wallow Piggy quest, the treasure hunt stuff. So you can do those. These obols you will get from obviously killing some of the mobs from World 2, crystal farming in World 2. You'll drop these obols and you can just upgrade them and it'll add it to Slab. When you get these obols and you put them back in your obol storage, just go to Slab to like bank it, I guess, to make it register, because obols are a little bit weird. At least when I did them, they were. So to make sure they count for Slab, just go to Slab and just double check. The party dungeon stuff, you just need to go on your VMan and find these. But these do work a little bit in your favor. So if you somehow skip over the second bandage wrap or the third, fourth, and you pick up a fifth bandage wrap 5, it'll count for 4, 3, and 2. So by picking up this one right here, you'll claim all these other items for Slab. These ones right here, these resources are in the World 3 party dungeon. So you can go into the World 3 party dungeon, mine these resources. I think you need a plat hatchet or plat, tool and above to be able to fish or mine or chop. And the same logic about collecting these also counts for these weapons down here. So just making sure to do some party dungeon to be able to claim those. Inventory bag H, I can't remember, I think it's a quest line as well. So I see some pretty easy slab stuff that you can do, so just remember to actually do that. Also remember that you can smelt marble ore to get the marble bar. That's a very easy slab as well, so make sure to go do that. Baba Yaga baby eggs, you haven't found these, I think, so make sure to kill some Baba Yaga and try to collect the eggs from him, or her, whatever. I guess it's her since they drop eggs. Anyways, farming, this is painful early on, as I'm experiencing, as I remember too. The best thing early on is just scaling day market. That's all you got to do. You've gotten to Mama Trolls. You're able to trade in for magic beans to be able to get the, obviously unlocking overgrowth is a big thing first of all, but being able to get the +1 crops, the faster growth speed, all this stuff is going to help. And just scaling day market, as is the rest of Idleon, just scaling the base of your account is going to help you push your account faster. So what I mean by that, pushing day market is going to help you push farming faster. So getting more growth speed is incredibly vital for you to be able to push higher levels faster for those crops. Getting +1 crops grown is going to be able to, you can start getting more and more of those crops to be able to level up the day market. Getting more land plots obviously is effectively a multiplier to your crop generation because you get more crops out of it. smarter seeds, more EXP to help you level it up. There's a star sign for farming crop evolution chance per farming level that you have. So farming EXP is actually pretty vital for crop evolution chance. Biology boost for crop evo, obviously early on, you need this. Product doubler eventually when you unlock it. This is a multiplier to the amount of crops you find, so this is really good. More beans, this will help you with the trade-in. Rank boost when you eventually unlock land ranks, this will help you. Evo GMO is not something you really want to worry about right now, but eventually when you start scaling that, this is the absolute like pinnacle of evolution and next crop chance in the entire game. So you want to scale this as much as you can, but again, that's going to come in the form of you focusing on day market right now and then night market a little bit later on. Sneaking is just really slow. With the advent of the Windwalker, obviously you get more sneaking percent, you get more stealth and such. So just trying to push levels on your characters and unlocking your characters as you progress the floors is going to help you getting higher and higher ranks here. When it comes to your distribution of charms, just make sure eventually when you are able to get, I think early on you want to get like a few bombs on your characters so you can start scaling the stealth percent of every other character on the floor. And your veils specifically, veil and rosary is eventually what you want to do, and you want to replace those bombs with lotus flowers eventually because they give you a higher percent. Yeah. It's just, you know, it's just slow until you get to sneaking masteries, and it starts speeding up and slowing down a little bit and then speeding back up. Summoning. Summoning itself is also pretty slow, but name of the game, honestly, is just stacking damage. That's truthfully it. The more damage you get, the higher battles you can kind of brute force and win. But definitely focusing on this as much as you can. And going back to sailing, we kind of skipped over this. Again, the biggest thing you want to do right now for sailing is unlocking Eldritch artifacts. The faster you unlock those Eldritch artifacts from the Rift, the better your sailing is going to be, because you'll be able to get a higher level of Fossary Tusk, which will help you unlock those other relics faster. Getting 80 Tablet to Eldritch means you can get more sailing speed to get to the later islands to be able to start scaling damage through Crystal Stake, multi-kill from Trilobite Rock, or more damage here from Opera Mask. All this stuff is going to come together and be really, really important for you. Just remember, when you do unlock Eldritch artifacts, Fossary Tusk is the first one you want to go for, and then 80 Tablet. Those are my biggest recommendations for what you should push for, like immediately. Okay, Juice, we talked a lot. I'm starting to get a little bit of a hoarse throat, so I will stop the account review there. Juice, I hope you learned something to help you progress your account, and I do appreciate you reaching out again. Glad we got another early-ish game account. I will see you in the YouTube comments if I see you, and you have a great day, all right? Bye-bye. Hey guys, I just want to say as a last thing, thank you to all of my Twitch subscribers and YouTube channel members. You guys really help the channel grow and really motivate me to continue making videos. If you guys do also want to support me on YouTube, it's just $1 a month for a channel subscription at the lowest tier. You can choose to give more if you want. Just want to say that. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your support. Have a great day. Bye.